came from the game table, dice bags in hand.
We have one brain that we share between us.
To talk about role-playing for all across the land.
And you like it?
The original, then basic, then one they scoured.
Kinda grabs you by the boo-boo, don't it?
To bring AD&D to the second power.
You want me to put the hammer down?
Welcome to THACO's Hammer, the best damn AD&D second edition podcast ever.
We haven't even cracked 200 yet. What?
No, we went a long time between episodes. You know,
okay.
I mean, I got sick, you got sick. You know,
things
happened.
Show,
You got a gig. You know.
Yeah, pretty much.
I keep getting classes.
Yeah,
you kept getting class.
My next class is the weekend of the 4th upcoming, so until then I'm available, and after that I'm available again.
Okay.
Okay, well that works. Hiya, folks. DM Glen here. How you doing? It's been a while. Number 179 we are on, according to Brian, and I tend to believe him most of the time. Well, say hello, Brian. DM Brian.
Hello there, everyone. What's going on out there?
The Coffin DM. And we've got Mr. DM Full-On Gamer up top here.
Greetings, Gamer Nation. The one, the only, the wonderful. Out on the road with everyone. Hey, hey.
Hey, hey. Hooty hoo. Well.
Did you just say hooty hoo?
Yes, I did.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure I heard.
I also say
give it an enthusiastic hooty hoo.
I also say bitchin' sometimes.
Oh. Well, you're from California. That's no big deal. That's expected.
Okay.
Yeah, you're from Southern California. You say bitchin'. If you're from Northern California, you'd say hella.
I'm not going to say you're wrong.
I know I'm not. I know people
wrong.
from both. I know I'm not wrong.
Yeah.
Not about that.
And you know me. I'm from both.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, folks, we're going to get into hits and crits.
Well? One thought he was invincible, the other thought he could fly. So? They were both wrong.
Son of a bitch is dug in like an Alabama tick.
You're hit. You're bleeding, man.
I ain't got time to bleed.
We're sending somebody in to negotiate. Anybody else want to negotiate?
Hits and crits.
Hits and crits. It's an all hits and crits show today because we're do a lot of emails. We're going to do some emails. Yes, and unlike other shows, we make them entertaining.
Well, we do our best.
They can't see my cheesy smile.
Yeah. We've been doing this. Let's see. We are in year 13. Yeah. We never did graduate to videos.
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. I was digging on another show anyway.
Mm-hmm.
That show may not be on anymore. I don't know. Anyway, what have you been doing, Brian? Besides having a cold.
Oh well, let's see. Last week I was sick. And just been doing my normal stuff. Working a lot. Doing my own podcast, Confessions of an Arcade Addict. As a matter of fact,
everybody listen.
Yeah, please. Please. I need the numbers. Let's see what else. It just went right out of the side of my head. I am, because of how serious the money is now, I'm actually considering selling my Encyclopedia Magicas.
No.
Yeah, I am. I'm still considering it. There was a sale on Facebook. They were going for $320 for a full set of 4. I'm
clutching mine tightly right now.
Yeah. Well, I know the one that's really going to make the money are my priest spell compendiums. If I decide to do this, I'm going to probably go up. Yeah. Because no one can find the volume 3 anymore for some reason.
Why don't you have the wizard spell compendium, right?
Yes, I do. All four volumes.
Well, why don't you sell those two first, and if you still need it, then do the encyclopedia.
I'm okay. I mean, well, my whole thing is that I just, in the end, yeah. For full disclosure, I'm still about, even after a friend of mine helped me out, I still am about, 25,000 dollars in debt, and yeah,
Okay.
some of these things are some of the and the loan that I have to make is like, one of them's like $670 a month, and
Right.
yeah, that's the one,
Well,
that's the killer. So
mine, I've got it almost as bad. I don't have the spell compendiums,
mm-hmm,
but I have Encyclopedia Magica
mm-hmm,
and the 3-volume Van Richten's Hunter's Guide,
mm-hmm.
which basically put all the Van Richten's guides together. Plus, they added another one.
Yep. Yeah.
That's 3 volumes, and those probably, because those are even rarer.
Mm-hmm.
I hardly ever see those.
Yeah.
So
those will bring a pretty penny, but enough about that.
I'll start by selling my first edition.
Yeah, I mean, I'm
first reading Deities and Demigods. How about that?
with Cthulhu,
Cthulhu
signed. You could probably get a pretty penny for that if you ever wanted to sell it. But
there's an edgelord fan out there somewhere who wants his Melnibay.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep. Or his Cthulhu.
I will have to be like absolutely destitute if I sell any of my signed stuff.
Yeah, I get that.
And I've got a few. I've even got the campaign sourcebook and catacomb guide signed by Jacques.
Yep, that was gonna say, yeah, that would bring a nice little penny. But Janelle might look at you sideways.
Yeah, but at the time she signed it Paul.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I remember.
Because she hadn't done the transition yet, which is like, oh wow, I think I just found my first double-sided penny.
Yep. So, let's see. Aside from that, I actually am going to, if I can get like a day where I don't have to go anywhere or do anything, I'm going to actually start streaming on Twitch. Games that I'm really interested in, and arcade games and RPGs.
I've never been on Twitch.
Oh, I've been on Twitch. Oh God, how long now? Since like what, 2009?
I mean, I'm on there. I have an account, but I never use it.
Oh, okay.
I just don't know how it works.
Oh,
I mean, I do live streams on YouTube, but same thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, pretty much. But yeah, you're basically streaming live to people who are watching, and
Mm-hmm.
you just doing whatever, and people watch, and if you get enough people to watch and subscribe, talk to you and ask you things.
Ask me anything type of thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if you wanted to, sure. Yeah, you put
ask
that
me
out there.
Anything about D&D, I'll give you one word answer. I don't know very much.
Uh-huh. Yeah, some of them.
My only advice
some of them
is to
are. Go ahead.
My only advice is to meter your desire for interaction and don't submit to the interruptus maximus vein of Twitch, where it's always stun locks and people just crashing your stream and throwing stuff at you and making noise and I dislike the Twitch just because I'm here for content. Y'all are in the way.
Oh,
okay.
There's even a step further from that. In order to get more interaction and also more revenue from your streaming, there are some streamers who actually set things up with particular games that
they do live streams.
Well, no. What I'm saying is that the people who are watching can actually interfere with the game in a certain way.
Wow.
One of my favorite streamers to watch, he was doing like American Truck Simulator, and there's a thing you can do where a listener can like say you have to go full speed for 30 seconds. or they'll reverse the steering inputs and stuff like that.
Oh, wow.
And I'm just like, I would get so annoyed. I'd get so mad if somebody did that. I'm like,
Oh,
no,
yeah.
I couldn't do it. But either way,
there's another population that just basically just turned it into a reverse version of Sims, and they submit a bunch of commands to the crowd, and they will basically be a performing monkey and do what is told, up to and includes self-care items like drink something, eat food.
Yep.
Well, then you just go on like live porn sites.
It's basically turning yourself into a Tamagotchi for somebody else's meat fetish.
yeah, it's true.
One thing I won't watch is mukbang.
What's that?
That's the eating videos. Yeah, it's like, I'm gonna eat this whole rack of ribs right in front of you, or I'm gonna eat there's one girl from Australia did 10 Big Macs in like 15 minutes.
Oh, that's disgusting.
I didn't watch the actual video, but I watched the Beavis and Butthead version. And they're totally falling in love with her.
Well, of course. Well, number one, it's a girl. let's not confuse it for anything else. That's the first reason.
I'm going to have to fight you for her, Beavis. And Beavis says, yeah, I'm going to marry her. The 11th Big Mac is Beavis.
Exactly.
Oh, it was funny. Anyway, that's some new stuff. Anyway, full on. What you been up to?
Continuing my truckerness. I've got my reservations in for Gen Con. I'm reviewing my way through the event catalog to figure out what I'm going to ask to do when the catalog opens for actual reservations on the 21st. And muddling my way through both my contributions to your anime addictions and my submissions to the, okay, fine, I'll get the light novels. And I started reading those. I sent you a sampler.
Oh, boy.
No, I didn't send you a sampler. I showed you a sampler.
Oh, okay. I got it. Oy.
I'm doing enough damage to your mindset already. I don't need to actually bog down. If I bogged down your bookshelves anymore, it would be wrong. It would interfere with your ability to watch more anime.
Or movies.
Yeah.
I've got I'm never going to, I want the condition to get into heaven to be watch all my movies. I'll never die. Actually, it'd be better if I just
close
said
the
you
window.
got to finish all your anime. I know I'm immortal then. Because we watched 2 episodes of Demon Slayer yesterday, Gage and I, and oh boy,
what?
That's a good series.
No, we can't.
Indeed, yes.
I have to pay the bills first.
Gage likes it because it's on our 70-inch UHD 4K TV as a Blu-ray, and it's like, it's so beautiful on here because he watches it on like Crunchyroll and YouTube on his laptop.
Yeah, at 480p.
Yeah. I remember when we started to watch Attack on Titan. I ran the first disc, and he said, "Well, that doesn't seem very much better." I said, "Oops, I put the DVD in. Sorry."
Yeah,
I thought it was the Blu-ray.
Check this out, kid.
Yeah, pretty much.
Nice.
So you're corrupting youth and driving a truck.
Yeah, it's me all the way.
Or as if it was me, you're corrupting the elderly. I
give back. I teach motorcycles, so I give them something to do.
Yes, last month I turned 66.
Oh, happy birthday, Glenn!
I leveled up to 66. I guess it's my turn. I got my folks.
You can give orders now.
I knew that was coming.
That's right. I got. Oh, by the way, I got a copy of Dungeon Crawl Classics.
Good.
As part of that, and I finally justified it in my mind, because I looked at it and I go, all you have to do. I have a buzzword that's my kryptonite. If I don't like something, Gonzo.
Mm-hmm.
And I looked at the PDF and I said, I could use all these charts. I don't care what I'm playing. I could use all these charts. So I bought one.
Okay.
One less thing I'll buy at the con, you know.
Yeah. Well, there'll be something else you can buy. I'm certain of it.
Oh yeah. I picked up a Blu-ray of Up in Smoke. Now I can replace my DVD.
I have not seen that movie in a very long time.
It's a good movie.
I know it is.
It's a real good movie.
I know it is. It's hilarious. I love it.
It is. Oh, dig this! I got to watch too. I got to watch. See, my sister sent me $75 for on an Amazon card. So here is my watch. You folks can't see it, but it's a binary watch.
Okay. Oh, you turned into one of those. Oh, Glenn.
Well, I got it. I looked at it and go, that's really neat. And I told Becky, I finally said, I'm not going to get it. She says, why? Because that's an impulse buy, and I'm trying not to do those.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
but since my sister sent me free money, and I had some left, and it was like, they were like $22, $24. Sure. And I tried it, and it's going, I can understand this. You know, other people are going, how do you tell the time on there? Like, I just do it. Man, my watch is off. It's always like a minute slow. But anyway, I haven't had a wristwatch in, God, I don't know how many years.
Right. Yeah, I stopped wearing wristwatches a while ago.
I always go, I'll just look on my phone. And, you know, I don't always have my phone.
Yeah. It might be in another room. I get it.
Yeah, or something like that. But in the office here, I just look up on my Kindle, which is mounted up there. Oh, okay. But I thought it'd be fun. It's time and date. And it's a nice little gadget. Anyway, and as far as gaming goes, let's see. We just did Matt's game Thursday, and Brian, sorry. One of the guys who always seems to died again, or his character did rather. His gnome had to go over a chasm to get to a room with a cave room with a chest in it. And it's like anybody else, I'd say don't bother, but it's him. Go ahead.
He's got to go for it.
He's gonna do it anyway, you know. And he I think he had some kind of either a spider climb or something, some kind of where Matt only gave him make a dex roll, and he made it, and he was over. He tried to do check traps, and apparently he failed because he opened it, he got a face full of gas, which took some hit points, and then there was like a steel skull with gems in the eyes. So he took it. No. He took it, and now make your dex roll back. He failed. 60 feet straight down.
Oh boy. And
he died. We were more annoyed because we had to get a guy with the rope to go down and get his stuff.
Right.
It's like, God darn it, do you have to do that? You know, we could have just stole it off you. But no, we don't do that. And the Monday game, we actually had one session where I know this is another house rule thing. Okay, talked about the D&D movie, another house rule thing, and the GM, he determined this could happen. We had a fight in a bag of holding.
That's fun. I hope you didn't use sharp weapons.
No, we didn't.
Okay, I was gonna say.
Or at least they did. At least they didn't hit the bag. And I had to take my helmet off before I went in there because my helmet is a hat of holding. Ooh. And I don't want it to be in the hat.
Yeah,
that'd be a bad thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
so what happened
was somewhere else.
Yeah. What happened was we were trying to get out of Dodge because everybody was trying to get us, and the one of the guys said, "Here, everybody jump into my bag of holding, and I'll teleport us out." Okay, well, I thought, you can't breathe in there. So I thought, well, we'll only be there for a couple of seconds. So we all jumped in, and I handed him my hat and my helmet. I said, here. And we jumped in, and he teleported out. Well, right at the last second, one of the bad guys, an assassin, jumped in the bag too.
Mm-hmm.
And so we had to fight her. And it's like this world where like we're all floating. So it's hard to hit anybody because you can't get any momentum. And it's like,
it's
I know how to
microgravity.
do. And this is Eberron, so I had firearms. I said, I know what I'm going to do. I'm just going to point my blunderbuss the other way and push my way towards you.
Oh, that's funny.
Anyway, we managed to stop him, and apparently, in his world, you can breathe in bag of holdings. So,
yeah,
there's
you only have a certain amount of air.
You can always breathe in bag of holdings. It's just you can't breathe forever in a bag of holdings.
Exactly.
That's true. But I just kept. We all jumped in, and then she jumped in, and I just looked at Carlos. I said, "Really? You're gonna do this? All right, fine. Here we go." And it was fun. I mean, it was very very much fun.
Right.
I mean, we could hardly hit her, but she could hardly hit us.
Right.
But
so
we managed to get a couple of lucky shots, and we
that
hauled her butt out of there. Anyway, that's pretty much what we've been up to. So, folks, we've got some emails.
Yes, we do. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 9 emails.
This is going to be so easy on Kevin.
Yeah, Kevin's gonna have. Well, I figured we'd all kind of ease back into it a little bit, aside from the fact that I meant to put an episode together last night after I got home from work at the arcade, and I ended up passing out. That didn't work. But anyway, okay, let's get right to it. All right,
let's get to it.
Let's go in chronological order from oldest to newest. Okay. So first one is from DM Oscar. Actually, he has two. I might as well just put these both together.
Oscar.
Oh, jeez. I just had an odd couple flashback. Anyway.
That's right.
All right. Let's see. He says. Greetings, Hammerlords. Hope you're well. Trying to do my part for the email section, so I'll jump right into the question. When using monsters with intelligence, have you set up scenarios where the players are given the option to bargain or negotiate for a more peaceful outcome? An example scenario is stone giants have both doable intelligence, especially with an elder leader. I try to have the PCs be the brokers between the nearby city and the stone giants as expansion and new mining sites would impede on their territory. Is this anything which you have done? Do you have examples which you could share?
That's I wish I had done it enough.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, go ahead, Glenn.
That's a problem. That's a problem with a game like this because it's too easy for the GM to just go roll for initiative.
Yeah. Well, well, that's also on the players too.
Well, yeah,
murder hobos are going to murder hobo.
Mm-hmm. Yep, they're going to murder hobo.
If you have that as your table, it's going to be what it is. But if you can make it known in advance and help them understand that defeating a encounter doesn't mean necessarily body counts and bloody treasure. Sometimes it can be a skill challenge. It can be a conversation. It can be a coercion. It can be an intimidation. It can be a negotiation. It can be surrender. It can be any number of things as long as you successfully navigate your way through the encounter and get to progress the story. So it's absolutely something that you should have more of. And the reason that you get more of it is if you make a tangible reward out of it. So you should generate XP rewards commensurate with the ability to get through an encounter that isn't pure combat. So once that starts happening, the people are going to start doing the things necessary to get the XP.
And that's all. Go ahead, Glenn. Go ahead.
It's like foreshadowing a danger in D&D or any other game. You gotta encourage them to do this.
Yeah, I agree.
I got an example
Go ahead.
that I think we've heard on this before. I don't know. And this is an example of the monster initiating dialogue.
Mm-hmm.
A while ago in Matt's Thursday game, we were going through the Caves of Chaos, believe it or not.
Mm-hmm.
And we got to the orc section, and there was like a bunch of male orcs and female orcs and kids. They had their own little thing going on.
Yep.
And we just, I don't know if I don't think we Ramboed in. It was just like, okay, roll for initiative. And we killed like two of the males and one of the females. And the chief walked up to the guy who was doing the most damage, laid down his sword, and he says, take whatever you want, leave the women and kids alone, basically.
Right.
And you should have seen the players' looks on their faces.
Mm-hmm.
Especially out of Matt, who is like, he's a
gung-ho.
Let me put it this way. Well, let me put it this way. He subscribes to
Goblin Slayer. He's gonna go kill some goblins.
Well, not exactly, but he does subscribe to the Tim Kask version of D&D.
Yeah.
If that gives you any idea,
Mm-hmm.
Ruthless by the book, all that kind of stuff.
Yep.
And my jaw dropped. It's like, we're going to role play? Wow. and the characters are so dumbfounded. They tied his hands, and they said, all we want out of you is, where is I can't remember which cave it was. Where have you seen, I don't know, whatever it was. And he said, okay, I'll take you there. And he took us to the opening of the Caves of Chaos. Okay, up there, we've seen those. Mm-hmm. And we even had a dwarf who absolutely detests orcs.
Right.
And he said, okay, we got it. He turned around, cut his bonds, and he said, go live your life.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy took off, and it's like, that was a really neat encounter.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe the other players will learn from this.
Yes, man.
So look at me all high and mighty.
You get examples of that in like the Night Below campaign has about 3 or 4 situations in each section of the campaign where that is the desired method of dealing with the problem.
Yep.
Yeah, you can strong arm your way and muscle your way into some of these and go for it, but if you do, you're probably gonna TPK the party. So the party has a method by which they can leverage the environment and the other encounters in the area against each other and make things better.
Yep.
Whether it's the rumors about the green dragon in the swamp, you use that to fight the hill giants, things like that. Because if you're in book 1, your level's 1 to 5. You are not fighting a green dragon.
No, you're not.
You're not. You're just not. In the U series, the Salt March series, you've got lizardmen who need help against friggin' Sawagin. So instead of just murderizing a whole bunch of lizardmen and getting a collection of belts and bags, you get allies.
Yep.
There's lots of it. They've been making examples of this for decades throughout the system, but it's becoming more and more popular. But the end result is you still have to make it a tangible reward, whether it's XP or money, that is going to be comparable to murder hoboing their way through it and just racking and stacking bodies, so that they can have a reason to do it other than, we're not supposed to fight, so okay, fine, I won't fight, and they'd be upset about it. Right. Some people just want to, so they need to have their fights. But you also give some room to play for the play. And then if they're smart about it, reward them, whatever it happens to be.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah,
I mean,
I believe we got some XP out of that.
Right. I mean, that just triggered a memory that when something I saw out of the first book of Lairs that TSR came out with in, what year was that? 86. So
I got those books.
Yeah, I got both of them, and when they even give you a listing when in the encounter of, what happens if the players run through everything and kill it, or if they defeat them, that means they drive off the opposition. They win the encounter without killing all the monsters. they even get experience points if they make an effort to defeat the creatures, but they're forced to retreat. So, and my whole thing is that especially using Oscar's example with the stone giants are a neutral alignment. They aren't evil. They just live their lives. They go about their own business, and that in that sort of a scenario, I would actually give more XP. I give a bonus on top of it for if the players went and negotiated with the stone giants, saying, "Hey, you know, we know that these mines are starting to encroach on your territory, and they paid us to come and take you guys out. But can we talk about this and see about what we can do?" And if they role play it correctly, especially if you've got a paladin or a bard, someone with high charisma, you know, that, and they're actually able to talk it out and basically come to an accord with the stone giants. Now, the hard part's when you go back to the people who hired you and they're like, "Did you take care of them? Can we do this?" It's like, well, kind of, sort of. We took care of them. We took care of it, but here's what's going on, and then you got to deal with that. But at the same time, it's like not everything is to just draw down on and kill, indeed, especially in my games. Not always. Most of the time, 60% of the time, yeah. I mean, you're in a hostile environment and you are either exploring or you're on a mission and you need to go do the thing, and you have to take care of whatever's in your way that's trying to stop you from doing the thing. Sure. But there are also other parts of it that are like, okay, you guys probably need to talk this one out. And as DM, I don't tell them. It's like, it's up to them to figure it out. You know, and I try to leave enough clues for the players to say, "Hey, I don't think we need to just go and kill everybody over here. You know, we can actually accomplish the exact same goal without killing everybody." Now, if they try to kill us, then game on. But but at the same time, it's like not everything is just a block of stats and an XP rating. You know.
That's right.
Well, yes, they are, but that doesn't mean that's the only thing you get out of it. But no, yeah. And the trick is finding ways to present it creatively so that it is an available option that can be leveraged. Having to do with knowing what your characters can do.
Yes, Mark.
And,
yes, Mark. We'll see about the
inclinations of what they want to do. And then what is the encounter going to deal with? What are the other things around that you can work around with?
In a while,
if you take it, actually, if you do a search through the D20 Radio podcast, you'll find a really good episode focusing on the construction and creation of skill challenges. And it's perfectly universal, can be used in any game system. Skill challenges, how you can have it combat related, you can have it skill related, you can have it charisma related, you can have it negotiation related, you can have it any number of things, and it all has ability check related. Getting a number of successes before you get a number of failures to achieve goals through the encounter and change the encounter situation to give advantage or disadvantage. And that makes it more likely than not that when they're dealing with especially overwhelming forces, they come up with more creative ways to deal with them other than dwarf ball it and see who has one hit point left at the end of the encounter.
Dwarf ball it. I love it.
Yeah, skill challenges are a great way to do it. Yeah.
This is the other talent that they don't talk about. That everybody's talking about. If you get, if they're in over their heads, they should learn to run away. Okay, everybody talks about that. But how many people say, "Well, do you want to talk to them? Why don't you talk to them? Maybe something will happen." People don't do that, especially if you're in a situation like, say, what's that module with the pyramid?
Desert Desolation.
No, No, the original one. The one with
Oh,
all the
Lost
factions.
City, of course.
The Lost City. If you're
Yep.
playing like, say, the Lost City, and you've got two factions at odds with each other, and you try and do a Yojimbo / a fistful of dollars / last man standing type of deal, you better learn how to negotiate and talk to them.
Yes, because the thing is, and you're right up my alley with this, Glenn, because I've converted that over to second edition, or at least about 40% of it. But
Yeah, like I say, westerns are the best ideas.
Yeah, because in that scenario you can go it alone, but it's easier if you have allies, and you have actually have three different factions, who are at odds with each other, and you can either ally with one or play them all off against each other, and you pick off the remainder if you're going to be like that.
And if you have nobody who happens to be charismatic or a face man, you can always be the hidden fourth party and just instigate stuff. As long as you can stay undercover and do stealth ops, you can make one person disappear, use their weapons to kill somebody from another faction, leave evidence behind, and then run. And set them off against each other and just pick up the pieces afterwards.
Oh yeah, that is absolutely correct. So Oscar, I hope we answered that question. Didn't you say he had another one?
Yes, actually he did.
Okay, let's move on.
Actually, this is like an addition to that. I think he thought better of his question, because this is what he said. He said, "Sorry, the example I use is probably quite weak. A better case would be with chaotic evil aligned creatures. Most decent role players will at least attempt diplomacy once in a while. What I'm trying to get at with this question is, when an intelligent but highly evil creature is encountered and the players attempt to initiate talks, is that something which you have the creature interpret as weak, or could the players spin it to keep the creature's interest piqued? If you have examples,
probably spin it.
Yeah. If you have examples of strongly evil aligned creatures that have come to the table due to good role playing and successive charisma rolls, I'd like to hear it." Okay. You
can do it dragons, vampires.
Yep.
You can do it with basically any intelligent greater undead.
Yep.
Mummies. You can do it with evil sorcerers. You can do it with warlords of various tribes. As long as they are secure in their position of strength, they'll be sloppy enough to be willing to talk. And if it's a case of my choice is TPK the party or have a discussion with some prisoners, take them prisoner, have a discussion with them, put them in an easily escapable situation, and let them understand their mistake.
And remember, you mentioned a charisma roll. The roll comes last if you do it at all.
Well, yeah.
Because a lot of people will just go, make a charisma roll. No, I want to hear what the players have to say to this person, because and this encourages them to do this, because I will tell them up front and says, look, how you do your negotiation and how you role play might give you a couple of pluses on your roll. And that next thing I know, I got players that go, oh yeah, I want to talk to them.
Yeah, well, of course.
I mean, it can get out of hand.
Well, yeah, because because players
go talk to that owlbear.
Because players will look for every advantage they can get. That's just how it.
Right.
That's just how it is.
You gotta think of what do they get out of it, type of thing.
Now, and just in case you need it, another option you can use, especially in a case where they got into a fight they should not have gotten into, and initiative is rolling and things are happening. It is entirely within the GM's purview to be able to declare a break in combat. If you have a event, a sudden whatever happen that disrupts the order of initiative, disrupts combat, brings everything to a screeching halt, and then the option becomes, talk, run, or fight. They can have a choice, and they can work something out to make one of the above or all the above happen.
Right.
So don't be afraid to, have a multi-phase combat where, there's a fight. The initial phase happens. We understand what we're into. Okay, we understand we bit off more than we can chew. Something engineers a massive disruption to the battlefield, and now everyone is getting ready to go hunting for each other again, or make some declarations, or great time for speeches, whatever it happens to be. And that's your chance to flip the script and do something different with the situation, rather than just roll initiative, reset the initiative order, and start fighting again. You can do lots of that.
Right.
When I was doing champions, that's one of the most favorite things I'd do, is I'd have a group of supers fight another group of villains, and then in the middle of the fight, a third group would show up. And it gets real interesting after that. You can do that in D&D easily.
Right.
You know, you're fighting some goblins in the cave there. All of a sudden, this squad of orcs show up, wanting to kill the goblins.
Right.
What are you going to do? You know,
what will you do?
Trigger a cave-in, set off a flashbang.
There we go.
You know, raise a mist cloud, set a fire. Any number of things can cause breaks in the combat and take you out of initiative order. Once you're out of initiative order, they're more inclined to be able to choose other options rather than immediately dive right back into it and say, no, man, I'm going to finish it. You know, especially if they know, okay, there is an XP reward for surviving an encounter and then getting away. You know?
Yeah.
Exchanging snarky words over a impassable chasm is totally available.
Right. And you know, that kind of thing you got to be very careful about, and encourage the role playing, because the role playing helps get rid of battle fatigue, combat fatigue. You know what I mean? It goes on and on and on and on and on.
Well, yeah, if the players feel that way, as we all know, there are just some players who are just all about the combat. You know, they want to. Yeah, I know, full on, I know. But yeah, you know, there are more. You know, just there are different ways to skin a cat. You know,
multitask while skinning a cat.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I'm just saying that, you know, if you're going to introduce a third group, don't do it at like, okay, the enemy still has 150 hit points. Oh, here comes some giants. You know, don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
Yeah. Well, yeah. There's some DMs who will do stuff like that, but
well, I just thought, you know, I'm playing devil's advocate right now. Just, you know, do the flip side of that. But encourage role play and negotiation wherever you can.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, you know, not everything is just something to be fought and defeated, because, you know, sooner or later, it's like I tell people, sooner or later you are going to find that there are those you're going to run into something faster than you, stronger than you, has more magic than you, and will pretty much just, you know, who will pretty much have no qualms about putting your ass in the dirt. And if you keep walking around like you're Barney Badass, it's going to happen sooner than later, you know.
That's true.
And, you know,
that's true.
Negotiation, you can catch more with honey than vinegar.
That's right. And remember, encourage them. Don't demand it of them.
Right. Yeah, that's another thing.
You know, you got a bunch of people who like both of it, but you don't want to turn it into story hour. You know what I mean?
Right, I get you.
All of a sudden, it's all negotiation all the time, and it's like,
Big, keep your voice down.
You know, so that's the flip side of that. Anyway, I hope that answers your question, Oscar. Thank you for sending that in.
Yep, that was
learn the lesson of Goblin Slayer, Oscar. The catchphrase for the series is, he doesn't let anyone roll the dice.
That's true.
Yeah, very true.
That is true. And if you wear a funny mask, you get the job done. Anyway.
Yeah.
Especially one with a long nose. Anyway, let's go on to another.
Okay. Next email is from DM Jamie. This is a pretty simple question that I've been looking at, you know, once I read it and figured out what he was asking about. So, He says, "Hello, Thacos Hammer DMs. I'm curious to know if the changes in attack progression between first and second edition are reflected in the changes to the AC of monsters in first and second edition." He asked about the Halloween and Ravenloft episode, but I took care of that. This is like last October. So, I took care of that because he apparently that episode didn't make it in the archive, but I found it put in the archive, and he's happy about that. Okay, I'll answer that because I've got both.
Yes, please.
Yeah, I've got both DM screens. The funny part is, and I'm looking at it as it progresses, it's weird because they revamped THACO by hit dice in second edition as opposed to first. Because I've got the first edition screen up and I've got the second edition screen up. Of course, the second edition progression is a lot smoother. It's basically for every 2 hit dice past the first, the THACO goes down by 2. So it's like 1 hit die is 19, 3 is 17, 5 is 15, 7 is 13, and so on. Now, with the first edition one, it's really weird because at 1 hit dice it starts at 20. 1 plus 1, 1 plus is 19. 2 is 17. 2 to 3 is 17. 4 to 5 is 16. 6 to 7 is 14, and so on. So I would even go so far as, excuse me, I have that wrong. But it's like 19, 18, 16, 15, 13, 12, 10, and it goes down from there, like every 2 hit dice. It's really strange. But I think if I'm looking at it correctly, it's sort of like it sort of vacillates. Like sometimes the 1E monster has better THACO, and the second edition monster has a better THACO. It's kind of weird, but the progression in first edition is like, 1, 2, 1. It's 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 1, 1, and it's really weird.
It probably has to do more with the expected capabilities of the opponent classes at par levels to go with those hit dice.
Mm-hmm.
And when do you get access to spells that lets you then leverage these abilities and overcome this many hit dice of power and hit points and cause damage and take damage and all these other things. So it's going to be very esoteric, and it is all just shaving minute hairs that really mean nothing.
Yeah, in the end,
it all balances out to be the same overall broadly.
Yeah, roughly.
It's not that much of a worry between number crunching down to the minute scale of this monster in this system versus this monster in this system, how they compare. You can call it just down to the will of the gods for the power they leverage to them and how much Malugiet loves his goblins now versus then. Okay, it doesn't it can come, it can go. It doesn't matter that much.
Right.
And it gets even weirder when you start letting them have classes.
Right. Well, that's true. And as far as the armor class of monsters, the only monsters that really got an AC boost were dragons. Not even, I think giants might have got a minor one, but dragons are the ones in second edition that got the major power upgrade to not make them glass cannons like they were in first edition. And and it's when you take the two of them, it's like Full-On said, I have to agree with them. It basically comes down to like 1, maybe 2 THACO points either way at some point. It's like for a 16 hit die creature first edition, the THACO for that creature is what, 7? And in second edition that THACO is 5. So
really,
a 16, and you can and it even says in second edition that THACO creatures continues to decrease by 2 points per 2 hit dice beyond 16. So you can get down to 0. You can go in the negatives, and I do for a really strong 20 plus or 22 or 23 plus hit dice monsters. I have zero problem doing that, because you want to know what? If you're going up against, those kind of monsters, you had better be like 15th, 16th, 17th, 18th level to begin with, and at that point it's like, you know, it's basically just number crunching and making sure that everybody's THACOs are in order when combat starts. That's all, or at least that's how it seems to me.
And leveraging your environment to give or take it, to give advantage, disadvantage, and manipulate bonuses and penalties to cancel out THACO, give yourself bonuses to hit, immobilize opponents, all those things that you can do.
Keep
to make
your voice
so that
down, please.
You're starting to run into the one-shot world where things can just boom kill you.
Yep.
Be ready to deal with that.
Because
exactly. that life does come back after first level.
Yep.
You can get into the range of, I point a finger at you and say die. Do you die? You die.
Yep, exactly. It's and
we don't want that.
No, you don't. And that's also where we also have given this advice ad nauseum through the 13 years plus we've been doing this, where sometimes the toughest dungeon is the wilderness itself, because you can run into things that can one-shot your entire party and you won't have a chance, and then you're looking at me like you want to string me up, and it's like, hey, didn't you get the clues I was giving you? Like a dark shape flying overhead and like circling over you. You didn't see that? Oh, you failed your perception check on that? What? Okay, well, and when it came down and it said that it wanted a couple of your horses, and it would let you go, and you decided, hey, we could take this thing, and you decide to draw down on it, and then, okay, you guys are now piles of ashes laying on the ground. Well, that's what happens. There are things out there that are bigger and stronger than you. You have to recognize what that is, and sometimes you got to take the L or run away. If you take the L, give them your horses, and you just live to fight another day. Go to the next town, double up on riding. Go to the next town, buy yourself new horses. I'm sorry that your family horse that you raised from a foal, was the dragon's lunch. But you want to know what? Did you want to die on that hill? Literally? Did you? Did you?
And there's nothing wrong with avoiding that conversation entirely, and just in the middle of the night, hey, guard on Firewatch, did you notice something? What? Your 6 horses are now 3. Huh? There was a big gust of wind, and now you have 3 horses, and there's 2 big puddles of blood.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Did you notice that? Oh, you didn't notice that. Oh, well, it's not my fault that your dice failed you at that point. I did give you the chance. So, anyway, that's pretty much that. Yeah, that's just one of those things where that question, I had to read that question like 5 or 6 times to make sense of it. But yeah, that's the answer. Not very many monsters in 2nd edition got an armor class boost. Most of them got a hit dice boost, especially giants and dragons. The THACO progression is a little weird, and like Falon said, it comes out to 1, maybe 2 points either way at whatever hit dice the monster is, so, your mileage may vary.
Yeah, I mean, did you allow your players to go ahead and do that magical research into the basic edition version of Magic Missile because they like D6s better than D4s +1? Mm-hmm. Well, that was your fault if you did, Now deal with it in your campaign.
Mm-hmm.
Great. Well, thank you.
Yep. Yeah, Jamie.
Who was that?
DM Jamie.
Jamie.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Jamie. Hope we answered your question.
Okay. All right. I think we did that one. So
I totally advocate that, by the way. I like the old magic missiles.
Yep. Yeah. The old magic missiles were, but they weren't multiples, were they? I don't think
they were.
They really. Wow. Wow. Okay. Okay. That's interesting. All
It was
right.
very interesting.
Yeah,
Who
I
else
think the
we got?
progression was different on them, but yeah.
Yeah. I was gonna say, what was it like? One every 3 levels, I think.
Yeah, something like that.
Okay. Yeah, that makes more sense. That makes more sense. No, I'm not doing that. That's a whole. No, I'm not doing that question. I'm sick to death of that question. The old various things for the command spell. I'm not doing that anymore. I'm 54 years old. Damn it, I'm not 13. Anyway, let's see. Yeah. So that goes away. All right. Let's see. All right. Got one from DM Ghost Zapper, who he hasn't emailed the show in a while. Let's see. In best full-on voice, greetings, THACO Nation. Ghost Zapper checking in. First of all, thank you for the hundreds of hours of entertainment you've provided me. I've listened to every episode, some of them multiple times, and I'm now playing the back catalog for my kids aged 13 and 11 when we're in the car. Awesome. That's really
Yay.
awesome. Let's see. I grew up playing some Menser Basic, then a blend of first and second edition, using whatever rules or classes we like best, along with a heavy dose of Oriental adventures, and I've worked over the past several years to pull my kids away from Fortnite and Pokemon and whatever else to show them the true gamer way. Good. They need to be learned up a little bit. Let's see.
Could just be one of my people.
Exactly. Let's see. It took me a while to brainwash. Yeah, exactly. It took me a while to introduce them to the old school goodness at a second edition, but after a few false starts, we now have a pretty solid little campaign going with a 4th level Elven Fighter, a 3/4 Elven Fighter Thief, along with 2 Henchman Fighters that graduated from being Torchbearers, and an NPC bard named Keeley, inspired by the Ted Lasso character. Oh, that's funny. That mostly helps them find adventure leads. So the reason I'm writing is because I have the exact opposite problem of your emailer from episode 178, whose group didn't want a dungeon crawl. My boys don't give a crap about anything besides finding or buying new equipment and then going to kick in some doors and kill whatever's on the other side. Dude, your kids are 13 and 11. When I was playing D&D, that's all we did. We didn't start doing other stuff until we were probably like 15 or 16. But I digress. Let's see.
Gage went through that.
Yep, we all go through that. Some people never leave that. I mean, just to be real about it, yeah, some people never leave doing that. It's what they like. It's okay.
Well, I've also had friends who say, I got to put up with a lot of crap all week and dry job and stuff. I just want to sit here and kill orcs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, stress relief. Yeah.
Yeah, stress relief.
I almost want to immediately recommend, have you considered picking up a copy of Reverse Dungeon?
Oh, God.
Put that pack of 10 and 13-year-olds into the goblin shoes, and you come at them full bore with a pack of adventures and see what happens.
Mm-hmm.
After you've killed them all, and let them know in advance this may happen, if they have any survivors, they can move on and join the henchmen for the troll and the whatnot in the sub levels.
Mm-hmm.
Give them that workout and see what they think about the results of the door kicking and murder hoboing their way through situations, and see if they realize, what, maybe it's time to talk, or maybe it's time to be sneakier and kill better.
Yeah, hold on a second. Let me finish, because that was his question, more or less. Let me finish his email.
Tell him to play monsters.
Yeah. Is there a way to try, and should I even bother at this point to get them more into the roleplay aspect, or should I just count my blessings that they want to roll dice with their old man and keep on throwing new monsters at them with cooler treasure until these characters finally find something they can't kill? Okay. Yeah, like I said, first point, 13 and 11. That's what they're going to be into, unless they're just cut from a different cloth. If they take more, I don't even know what your wife is like, but if they take more after their mother, they might have come into this in another way. But if they take after you, you got to remember, dude, how your games were when you were that age. If you started with Menser Basic, which was what, 1983, and if he's even close to our age, so that means he was at least 10 when that came out. You know, I'm thinking about it. I started 2 years before with Moldvay Basic in '81, and yeah, that's all we did. That's back when I was playing on the phone with my best friend and my DM. Shout out to Krista. um, and my whole thing is that that's all we did. We rolled. We basically went into dungeons, rolled dice, killed things, got stuff, wash, rinse, repeat, and we were happy. Or at least until one of us had to give up the phone because a parent wanted to use the phone. Because this was just when call waiting came out, and that whole thing. So
we were gaming it over the lunch table in junior high and elementary school. So we were just doing X1 Isle of Dread during our lunch breaks.
Oh yeah, and that like I said in the last email, the wilderness can be the hardest dungeon of them all. Look at the Isle of Dread. You got dinosaurs running around. You got a freaking Tyrannosaurus Rex running around. Yeah, try to take that thing out.
Get to the Isle of Dread. You still got to leave the friggin' continent first, and then you have a sea journey.
Yeah, about 200, 300 miles to the south. Yeah.
I used it in Castles and Crusades, and it was fun just getting there, getting a ship and getting there.
Yep, yeah, because if you get the seaborne encounters and things like that, that whole thing.
Their first session, they struck a bargain with the shipwright. He said he'll sell the ship to us for X amount of dollars less if we stay there overnight in the ship and protect his yard. And we got a really nice deal and took care of some couple orcs, a half orc, and a cyclops who tried to wreck the place. So yeah,
and now you got yourself a ship.
Getting there is half the fun.
Right, exactly. So on the one hand, first of all, you should always count your blessings when your kids want to go down the same path that you did, in this aspect anyway. If they want to roll dice. I mean, let's put it this way. As part of his autism therapy, my son, they've actually started having him play D&D.
And
I was in shock when I saw that, but it actually helps because, it's number one, it's pretend. Number two, you're rolling cool dice. And number three, you get to be a hero. And, that's right up my son's alley. He loves it. I mean, his therapist said he absolutely loves playing it. I'm like, I wish he'd come to me. There's a part of me, it's like, I wish he had come to me. But at the same time, I'm like, any introduction to it, I'm good, because I actually asked him one day if he wanted to actually play D&D with me, and he said yes. And I'm like, all right, cool. And so now at some point I've got to set up a little game for him. I just have to keep it at the risk of punning, keep it basic. Because he's not quite 9 years old yet.
And again, get into the notion of creative problem solving. Now you've got them hooked to rolling the dice and kicking the doors. Start trickling, and you don't have to make it the big pitch right out of the gate.
Right.
Start trickling in the skill challenge notion so that they're aware that there are other things on their character sheet besides the combat chart and their equipment list. Let them know about skills and proficiencies. Let them know about abilities. Let them make creative choices and start thinking outside of the encounter box. That way, all of that helps.
Well, when people criticize role-playing, I just got to remind them that role-playing has been in the medical field for a long time. That's one of the things psychologists use sometimes.
Yep.
So don't give me any of that crap.
Yeah, for real. But yeah, I mean, it's just one of those things that, I mean, like Full-On said, it makes perfect sense. Just start trickling in little things, little encounters, and little problems that they just can't solve with a swing of their sword. Make them start to think critically. But, yeah, don't just beat them over the head with it. Like I said, just little things here and there. It's like, and be prepared for them to try to bulldoze their way over it, because that's what they're doing.
The thing to remember with that, the very important thing to remember that is, don't clock yourself into a single point of failure. Have multiple paths to success and multiple definitions of what is success.
Mm-hmm.
There's avoid the monster, beat the monster, kill the monster, or dupe the monster. There's, you can have situations where they can win the fight, and even if they want to have it so that they kill the monster, there are ways to kill the monster that involve
what are you talking about?
Squaring off, and there are ways to kill the monster by making the monster suffer rocks fall.
I didn't take
everyone
it from
dies. So
no, the phone that you had,
there
the
are
phone that
ways
you had,
to
Marcus,
fight
you don't
smarter,
need
not
my daddy
harder,
got you a tablet.
and you're going to see some
no,
results.
I didn't put it in trash, but you don't need it anymore.
Mm-hmm. Well, and there's
that's
many,
why Daddy got you
many
the tablet,
ways to
because
do
it's a
that.
bigger screen.
Our Eberron campaign, we had a shapeshifter.
Well, I don't know where I put it.
We had a shapeshifter in there, one of the player characters, and in this
maybe when
you're
older,
that they
Daddy
were
will give
dealing
you a
with
phone so that you can call
who killed the guy.
Daddy when you need to.
One of the bad guys got very badly gaslighted by him.
That's a while in the future.
When he was in the bedroom looking in a mirror, and he came up behind him looking exactly like him, saying something like, "I'm your conscience.
Maybe we'll see.
Are you really gonna?" Just basically scaring the peewatty out of him.
Mm-hmm.
And I will never forget that. That was such, that's the kind of thing I wish people would do more.
Mm-hmm.
Just, because it wasn't a fight. It was a role playing thing.
Mm-hmm.
But boy, that guy booked it out of there so fast.
Yeah, I mean, not everything should be a fight. Sometimes you gotta come to it. Just do things differently rather than just constantly trying to beat the crap out of everything.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And you can leverage that into doing creative edits to some of the most basic classic adventures out there. Get yourself a copy of the Slave Lords campaign. Mm-hmm. There are places in every single one of those books that you can build a really creative skill challenge into the encounter, so that there's more than one way to gain advantage and progress the story. Because that's the idea. Gain advantage, progress the story, get the rewards, whatever they happen to be. Whether it's the stuff in the treasure box, whether it's the hide of the critter, whether it's the release of the captives, any number of those things. So the A series, get into Castle Amber, get into
Castle Amber.
Get yourself the X series. Get them into some horror stuff where things like, if they want to start kicking doors, take them to friggin' Ravenloft and see how that works out for them when they start kicking doors in the catacombs of friggin' Strahd's Castle. Okay, you're gonna have some days where kicking the door is the bad idea.
And that might even just come about by just your dice not cooperating with you.
Yeah.
I love Castle Amber when they first get there. They are the player characters. Somebody's going to be coerced into getting into a ring and fighting.
Boxing.
And it's boxing, and it's like that's perfect because they're having a fight, but it's not really a fight.
Right.
It's without weapons, and you're just duking it out.
Right.
And sometimes the players go, "Oh, that was great. We didn't really fight, but that was great."
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And the rest.
Yeah. And you can make money by doing side bets. By wagering on the fight and doing side bets. I mean, and if you try to go after
it's technically role playing.
It is. It's 100% role playing. Every time, as you guys know, I've converted Castle Amber Second Edition, and I redid that whole thing. Because I didn't redo the character because the character was like what, a 12th level swashbuckler. And it's like, yeah, if you want to try to take him out, he's going to switchy poke at least a couple of you into the next dimension. But if you decide to get a character in there, and get him in the ring with give him ring with the Magen, who's in there, who's basically in the ring shadow boxing while everybody's talking, and I was like, you want to know what? Because everybody seems to think that these Magen are pushovers. It's like, no, they can be taught things. And so this Magen was taught how to box. I have a martial arts fighting style that is, no, I don't have it. It was in a Dragon magazine that's actually called boxing. 3 attacks around, 1 to 6 each, and the crushing blow is an uppercut, which is like double damage. So
finally a non-weapon way to fight.
Yes, fight with your bare hand. Yeah, you think okay, Mr. Badass Fighter with the 1854 strength. You think you're a badass? Okay, take off your armor, take off your weapons, put your dukes up, and let's see what you got. And if he thinks that this is going to be a pushover, nope. Nope, it's going to be a challenge.
I keep thinking of the first Avengers movie with Cap and Iron Man. Take off the suit. Let's go. Put on the suit. Let's go.
Yeah.
Come on, get in the ring.
Yep,
no,
exactly.
No, put on the suit.
Or Wolverine, where he goes in the ring with the Blob. Yep, same thing. It's like, yeah, I'm gonna, yeah. Oh God.
Did you call me Blob?
Yeah, exactly. I just saw that clip like 4 days ago, and I was cracking up. Oh, it was a great part of the movie. But
yeah, I mean, this is why the classic adventures are classics. They give you the meat and potatoes that you can, and this stuff because you came up in that era. So get yourself your copies of the A series. Get yourself the U series. Get yourself the G series. Get yourself Strad. Get Ravenloft. Get yourself all these things and start letting them flex and understand what they can and can't get away with, and they're going to start having to come up with the creative solutions to it. You can put them into Night Below. That's a great long-term campaign that's going to stretch through all kinds of things. You can get them into again, all these things. Go grab yourself some old basic modules. Go grab the X1, X2. Go get B1, B2, B9. All these things can give them really, really good opportunities for you to flesh some things out, tailor and tweak it, put it into skill challenge type situations, some straight combat situations. They can win some combats without fighting. They can turn some conversations that should have been conversations into fights. Whatever it happens to be, you're going to see all of those things rolled around. Get them make some tangible props, start getting them into a little bit more hands-on stuff. Get creative with that. That starts turning them away from being the D20 the first thing they grab. Maybe make it the map or the handout the first thing they grab, and they look over it again. You can get puzzles in there. You can get traps in there. These things start making them do creative problem solving.
Yep.
And when in doubt, whip the D20 out.
If all else fails.
I was just thinking, talking about the boxing thing, is I just had an idea. It's just the characters kick open the door in the dungeon, and what do they see? They see an ogre, a table, and a few chairs. The ogre is dressed in shorts, and he points to the biggest one and says, "Come on." He wants to arm wrestle him.
Yep.
Perfect.
Yep. Yeah, and then it turns into a skill challenge. Yeah, then it turns into a skill challenge, exactly. Because that was the other thing when it came to things like arm wrestling and stuff. No, it's not just opposed strength checks. You just do one. No, it's like, opposed strength checks, at least, for each, I hate to say it like this, but each level of, when you start from neutral, it's just opposed strength. If one person has slight advantage, that person gets a +1 bonus. If he has a bigger advantage, it's a +2. If he's about to beat him, it's a +3. And things like that. And you have to constantly go back and forth and try to make your checks so that you can, if you're about to be defeated, then you're trying to get back to neutral and trying to get in there. So it's not just one strength check.
And it's not just one player taking the spotlight and dealing with the situation. This is the glory of skill challenges. Everybody has a means to contribute, whether it's they can be taunting the opposition to give them disadvantage. They can be bolstering the competitor to give them advantage. They can, any number of things can be done that way. Talking smack. They can be doing bard things if they have a bard in the party. They can be, giving, there's ways to make everybody a contributor to the eventual success or
That's
the
right.
eventual defeat, or they can contribute to the scenario one way or another. So making it set up so it's a 1v1 square off doesn't have to be 1v1, but if you can avoid that, do it so that everybody has a means to set up the encounter for the check, and they build to get more advantages and disadvantages so that when the one check happens, they get to do it at like a +8 to the roll. Or they don't even have a roll. They just get this many successes. Once you've achieved this many small successes, you have met the threshold for success for the encounter. You win the encounter, and it doesn't have to involve someone being drug off and getting bopped over the head with the rod of resurrection.
Right. So true. So true.
Bopped on the head. I love it. Oh, thank you very much. Hope we answered your question.
Yep.
Did we?
Yeah,
Oh,
we answered it. We definitely answered it. Okay.
Okay, I think we have time for one more.
Okay. Yeah, this is an interesting one. You guys can take this one. Okay. All right, I have an email from DM Felix, who is a semi-regular emailer to the show.
Oscar.
Felix.
Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, exactly.
Got a Felix and an Oscar.
Yeah, who knew, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
What are the odds?
Yeah.
Is it the cat?
Yup. I haven't seen the Felix the Cat episode in years. Okay, he says, "Hello, I just enjoyed your latest Splat book, which made me want to throw Curse of the Azure Bonds into my actual campaign. Thanks for the great review and throwback." You're welcome. Okay, here comes my new question for you guys. And he sent this in January, so this is, for point of reference, this is when all the kerfuffle around the OGL rollback came through. So this is like January of this year when he sent us this. He said, since there's...
I'm mad at that. I'm mad at that because it almost ended the show.
Yeah, almost.
No.
Almost. Because I was like, it all depends. But hey, we left it to the people. The people said keep going, so we're going to keep going.
Folks, we'd be doing this anyway because we just want to get together and shoot the bull for about 3 hours.
Well, and since I don't have time to run Hammers of the Duchy, this is the next best
thing. Felix.
Okay, he said, since there's this big OGL discussion going on, what are your favorite alternatives to AD&D? Well, I know what you're going to say, Glenn. Go ahead.
Well, hey, Matt converted he was so mad he converted his Thursday game into Castles and Crusades. I said, excellent choice. And he loves the system. Absolutely, because it's just familiar enough.
Right.
With D&D that people don't have to have this learning curve. And it takes everything that's good about 3rd edition and dumps everything else.
Right.
That's what I like about it. And he likes it because there's no dark vision, but he loves it. I can think of about half a dozen other ones too.
Right.
I'll let you guys go ahead, and I'll chime in, but go ahead and you tell me the ones you can think of.
All right, Fong, go ahead.
Well, I mean, the obvious answer is, just play 2nd edition because that's not, the Dungeons and Dragons of the discussion point, or play
Exactly.
3rd edition, or play 1st edition, or play Basic, or play Moldvay, or play Hackmaster, or play Pathfinder, 1st or 2nd edition, or
Right.
play. Those are all good. If you want to stick with swords and sorcery, hack and slash, there's a certain population that finds a lot of enjoyment in Iron Crown Enterprises. So you can play Middle Earth role-playing game. You can play Roll Master role-playing game.
Didn't they just
Warhammer
come out?
fantasy role-playing games?
That's
Several
right.
editions of it and several versions of it. If everybody at your table is an old WoW fan, there's WoW D20. You can throw down with any number of things and the OGL be damned. It doesn't matter. They're not going to storm your house in the middle of the night.
That's right.
Well, they might.
Take
They
your
did hire
books.
the Pinkertons, but no, they're not going to bring the Pinkertons into your house to take your books and your dice. And you can usually, but it doesn't matter. You can do what you want with the systems you want, and everything is out there. There's flavors of all things, whether it's D20 systems, whether they're D10 systems, whether they're percentile systems. They're all out there, and they're all good. It's different ways of flipping the same coin, different ways of cooking the same burger. Do you want it raw, medium well, or well done? What are the flavors you want in your campaign or your play style? There's a game out there for it.
And there's tons of clones of them.
Oh, yes. There's Dungeon Crawl Classics. There's
Swords and Wizardry.
Yeah, there's you can just go on. You can go on for days and days and days and ends and ends. It's all out there. It's all available. Ostrix out there. There's classic stuff. There's gritty stuff. There's crunchy stuff. There's funny stuff. How do you want to? I've got copies of both the Goblin Slayer and the Konosuba role-playing game. Go for it.
Yep.
What is your play style you want? There's a game out there that meets it in a genre that you approve of.
Hey, Full-On, I
Yes?
think, I don't know if this is a Kickstarter or not, but didn't they just turn out a new edition of Rollmaster?
Don't know. I wasn't following it.
I think they did. It was like one book with the basics in there, the laws, the 3 basic laws. I just wanted to ask.
I always go and hunt down Iron Crown books just because I like their tables because I'm mean.
Those tables are mean.
I steal their combat and magic crit and fumble tables for use in any system depending on the mood that takes me.
We never made it. We never liked that in our old champions group, but boy, did we like Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay. We loved those tables.
Yeah.
Ooh, did he lose an arm? Did he lose an eye?
Yeah, I saw those tables. I was going to incorporate them in them, and I'm just like, nah. way too mean for my purposes,
You know, it's a great movie that it has examples of all that stuff in play. Go watch Renfield.
Oh, really?
Oh, the new Renfield?
Go watch Renfield. That's all I'm gonna say.
Okay.
Well, I tried to go see that, but my friend Jonathan was kind of late, and so we never went.
That's a pity.
Rake him over the coals. Go with Gabe and laugh at him about it.
Gage. Yeah, he'll love it. He'll love it. Anyway, what about you, Brian? What are your alternatives?
Well, I'm so deeply invested in 2nd edition. I mean, I basically had to say, look, when this whole thing was going down, I basically had to say, look, I understand what they're, that a lot of people are pissed because of what WotC was trying to do, and is still trying to do, mind you. They're just trying to be a lot more sneaky and tactical about it, rather than just saying, we're doing this, and you guys can go pound sand if you don't like it. I'm looking at my bookcase, which I finally got all my stuff out of storage and put it back in the bookcase, and I'm just looking at it's almost all of its 1st edition stuff. The first 4 shelves are nothing but 1st and 2nd edition stuff. I mean, rule books, modules, monstrous compendiums, and also the compendiums that I had to take and put individually into leaf sheets and put them in binders.
Mm-hmm.
Box sets, a lot of my homemade stuff. I mean, and the bottom shelf, the fifth shelf close to the floor, aside from where all the miniatures are, um, that's where all the alternative stuff is. I mean, the only alternative stuff is in
the indie stuff.
Yeah, no, not the indie stuff. We're talking BattleTech, Marvel Superheroes, Star Wars, all that stuff. The only alternative that I have is the copy of Golden Glory we got sent. Each of us got sent. And
I remember that.
Yeah, I still have it. It's still in wonderful condition. And, if I ever wanted to do second edition without doing second edition, that's what I would do.
Well, again,
that's
no
a good
one ever
idea.
said. All the arguments were about 5th edition and
I know.
D&D 1,
No,
so
right.
Yeah,
4th edition wasn't even part of the discussion because everybody assumes everyone's gone.
There's at
beyond
least
it.
3.
And then there's 3rd, and But again, the other flip side of the coin is, what do you want to play? What's your alternatives?
Mm-hmm.
Well, just within 2nd edition and 3rd edition and 1st edition, you can say, well, do I want to play Greyhawk? Do I want to play Forgotten Realms? Do I want to play Red Steel? Do I want to play Dragonlance? Do I want to play Eberron? Do I want to play Mystara? Do I want to play let me keep going here. I mean, it just doesn't stop.
Yeah,
do
no,
I want
it
to play
does not.
Conan? Do I want to play WoW? Do I want to play? It's all there. What setting do you want? And just go with it.
Yeah.
So that can be your difference right there.
Well,
it doesn't matter. You don't have to bend to them.
Well, yeah, I agree, but the problem is that, like I said when we were talking about the future of the show, is that there are so many people who, rather than just saying, you know what, I won't do anything, I won't have anything to do with what WotC is doing from this point forward. No, they were like, oh, I'm just throwing everything out. I'm just going to get rid of all of my old TSR stuff, as if this is going to make any sort of difference in the grand scheme of things. That's the part.
TSR already got the money.
Yeah, they already got your money. And they spent it a long ass time ago. It doesn't matter.
I mean, if you're just you're just doing this for spite.
Yeah, and that's
what
some people are doing. They're doing a lot of this out of spite. And
hey, that means that there's going to be stuff available in used bookstores and on eBay auctions that you can get for cheap for things that could never be found before because they were in somebody's closet.
Yeah,
let me tell you that Matt was so PO'd about it because Matt is also he's also a publisher. He does the McArthur stuff, and he was so mad at that. He not only converted to Castles and Crusades overnight, he also told us not to go watch the D&D movie. I'll pirate it and we'll come over to my house and watch it.
Wow.
Well, again, contrary to their stated desire, they haven't found a way to get a commission off of every D6 you roll.
That's right.
Much less every 20.
Despite their best efforts.
Despite their best efforts and intention and stated desire to do so, that's never going to happen. Unless you commit yourself to living in an online community and only playing in their approved format gameplay zone, whatever, it doesn't matter. Do your game your way.
Yep. If they had their druthers, they would try to make it so that you could only come to them and give they could charge you whatever.
It's a subscription service with upgrades and
No.
downloadable content.
No.
Right.
No. They're trying to shove the toothpaste back in the tube and change the flavor. That's what they were trying to do. And of course it wasn't going to work, but they felt they had to try it because they felt they could get away with it. And
let me
go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
No, go on.
I was just going to run off my recommendations, and I got a bunch because I'm staring at them right now. Now I'll go first for fantasy. The first thing out of my mouth, Hyperborea. Do it. Also, we have, like I said, Castles and Crusades. I see Swords of Wizardry down there. I see Labyrinth Lord down there.
Right.
And okay, let's get into the Survive This. The bloat games. They have a fantasy one now. Getting into Universal Systems, I always recommend Universal Systems. Index Card RPG, Savage Worlds, for God's sake. You want to play fantasy or anything else in there? Do that. Old School Essentials. I got a complete set of Old School Essentials staring me in the face right now.
Glenn, but they send you that stuff. Let's. Just for sake of clarity.
Hey,
Glenn.
Old School. No. Listen. The things I mentioned, I bought.
Okay.
I can mention the stuff I didn't buy if you want. Old School Essentials, I bought the whole line. There's also I'm looking at Basic Fantasy. I've got all their books, and that's a way to get in for cheap to free.
Yep.
That's the other thing. That's the other thing about people are going, well, I don't know if I can afford to change up. Yes, you can. Download those PDFs for free. Buy the books at cost. So there is not a financial barrier to getting into something else. And a lot of games have free starter games. You can try it out before you do it. I'm trying to work up a gangbusters scenario right now, and that's about $10. Mark Hunt's also got Tall Tales, which is a Western RPG. It goes on, and here's something they did give me, but no, that
Aces
never mind.
And
Aces
and Eights.
Yep. Yes, and then sci-fi. You could find
007, Doctor Who.
Yep. I mean, there are tons of alternatives out there. There really are.
White Star.
White Wolf. Black Dog.
Worlds Without Number. Stars Without Number. I could go on and on and on, and I just did.
Yes,
but
you did.
You get the idea.
Yeah.
You get the idea. Go down to your game store or look on Amazon, or you'll find this stuff. Like I said, I would recommend going to basicfantasy.org. Download everything you got for free.
Yeah, I mean there are alternatives out there.
I'm even I got DCC. I'm even staring at my copy of Toon.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Toon. Oh goodness. Yeah, I got you.
Teenagers from Outer Space.
Big Eyes, Small Mouth. You can go as far as you want to in any direction. There are alternatives for everything. You mean you could use Big Eyes, Small Mouth to recreate Lodos War if you wanted to. I mean
they have that supplement.
I believe that. But my point is that
Supers Champions V&V Marvel Superheroes.
That's my super of choice.
By the way, I have a copy on my shelf of The Blood of Heroes, which is the retro clone of DC Heroes. So, yeah. What is it? You go to the what's the name of the website? The Marvel Superheroes website. Something. Do you remember what it is? They've got that Marvel Superheroes website.
Marvel Unlimited, I think. Hold on.
No, I think it's something else. Yeah, look it up.
Yeah, I'll look it up. Go on.
You can download the entire run of TSR's Marvel Superheroes stuff on PDF for free. That's another resource if you like supers.
Yep.
Yeah, I think I've shot.
Yes, with a good enough roll, Aunt May can pancake Galactus with a frying pan.
Hasn't she?
ClassicMarvelForever.com. That's what it is.
Classic Marvel Forever. I think she has. I think she.
Yes, she did. Yeah, Aunt May defeated Galactus with a frying pan. Yes, it happened.
Yeah, didn't she say something like, "I took lessons from Squirrel Girl"?
Oh yeah. Oh God bless Aunt May. I love that woman.
Oh yeah. I was so mad they killed her off in the last Spider-Man movie.
Well, the problem.
It's a multiverse.
It's a multiverse.
And that was the hot Aunt May too, Marissa Tomei.
Yeah, Marissa Tomei. Too pretty to be Aunt May. I preferred Sally Field.
Yeah, that was just a wrong thing, so we allow that.
I was waiting for Tony to hit on her.
Oh yeah, right.
Well, Happy was dating her for a while.
Oh, Happy Hogan.
Yeah, he was dating her for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
but yeah, that's just one of those Cassie. That's almost
Well,
up
you
there
know
with
that-
Jessica
what
Alba
is it?
as freaking Sue Storm.
Yeah. What was that the Spectacular Spider-Man, the cartoon?
Uh-huh.
He was Coulson was dating her.
What? Wow.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah, Agent
Wow.
Coulson was in there. He was dating her. Unbelievable. Anyway, there we go. You know, I think we just laid out the entirety of the OSR RPG community at your feet.
Yep, right there. You know, pick
Just
up what you
don't
want, leave the rest.
Yeah, and remember, don't play third edition. Play Castles and Crusades. That's the real third edition.
Hey now.
Yeah, it is.
You have to remember.
I'm sorry,
Glenn. You have
I'm
to
sorry.
remember.
No,
Full-on was a playtester.
No. Let me backtrack on there. That's the real third edition clone, not that Pathfinder junk.
Some people might disagree with you, but okay.
Pathfinder is just 2.5 grown up.
Yeah, right. With too many options and builds.
No such thing
and
as too
other
many
stuff.
options. No such thing as too many
builds.
options.
You sound like Gage now.
Hey.
You know what's so funny? I don't play second edition anymore.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
at
noticed.
All.
We noticed.
And you know what? Well, technically I do. Because when I'm running something like that, it's a combination of first and second. Right. That's the only way I can see second edition now is an extension of first. Because there's stuff they took out that you want to put back in.
No, there's not.
That kind of thing.
And
yes,
that's how I see third. It's an extension of second because there's things that they took out that you want to put back in, and then they give you options to put it back in. And then there's other things that they made concrete, so it all works out. And then they had to bring the frickin' proficiencies in.
Hey,
and
they
fees.
brought proficiencies in first edition. Stop. Let's not even put that on second edition's feet. Let's not do that.
And remember, we just spent an entire episode talking about the merits of skill challenges, and then you went to disc skill systems. Come on,
I have a love-hate relationship with skill systems.
And again, part of the hate comes from being in a single point of failure scenario. When you have a properly assembled skill challenge, take a look at my D20 radio podcast about that. You'll find out how you properly build skill challenges so that they are ability-based, combat-based, skill-based, multiple skills, multiple combat options, multiple feat options. The presence of any variety of any combination of things can be baked into the encounter so that they give you a pathway, multiple pathways to success, so you are not on a railroad. You're operating a web.
I would say preach, but I'm not. But look, I understand. And as far as proficiency came in at first, well, anything that Gary put out in a supplement is all, up for grabs.
I could disagree with you, but I don't. I'm not going to. I don't want to open that can of worms.
Well, I'm having fun dissing stuff. Leave me alone.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think you got.
You mentioned Freak.
Who is this again?
There's a documentary.
Who sent this in?
That was DM Felix.
Okay, thank you, Felix. I hope that helps.
Scratches your itch.
Somewhere.
Mm-hmm. Oh, by the way, one of your old roommates at North Texas emailed like 2 days ago.
What, Greg?
Yeah. No, Jeff.
Jeff?
Yeah, Jeff.
That's interesting. Yeah, there was one year. Okay, yeah, I think I remember him. He was part of. I forget the group he was. The first edition group. I can't remember. But anyway, what does he say?
Oh no, he was saying he was looking for Splat Books 43, 44, and 45. They were already on the archive, and he found them. He said he's running Night Below, and he wants as much info as he could get from others who've gone through it. Well,
give him
Jeff, I will refer you to when we did Night Below, if I can find it. I know it's here. Hold on.
But I have props I can email him.
Yes.
Yes, me
Send
too.
send him his Full-On's email address.
Oh, yeah.
You know, he'll get the murder hole and everything else.
Yes, he most certainly will. Let's see. Where is it? But yeah, I mean, we did a whole deep dive into Night Below. Pun semi intended. Let's see. I'm just trying to figure out where it is. It should be
Never apologize for puns. Never.
Yeah. I'm not going down that road. Let's see. Where is the? You know what? What is going on here? Because I know we did. Oh, there it is. I know. I knew it was here. Episodes. Oh, that's why he's looking for him, because that was the Night Below trilogy we did. The 43, 44, and 45. Okay. Yep. Yeah, we did all that. You know, did our whole cloth about creating characters. And yeah, we did Night Below parts 1, 2, and 3 because there are 3 parts
there you go,
in
Jeff.
that box. Yeah. And so he was able to find them, and he said, "Say hey to Glenn." Because I was a roommate of his in North Texas way back when.
He was. I remember him. Oh, by the way, the one I didn't mention that I said no, that's a supplement was Arduin, because there is the Arduin system they have in there, and I understand they got a Kickstarter for a new Arduin system coming out.
Right.
Just wanted to, completion.
Yep.
For completion's sake.
Yep.
All of a sudden, I'm turning into Adrian Monk.
No, you're not that bad.
Yeah.
You'd have to take medication for that.
I'm not making medication now.
Yeah, exactly.
I got my happy pills. Anyway, I think we should probably close
we're over 2 hours. Yeah, we're good.
Yeah. Okay. We've gone. When I did the live stream with Eric, we went 2.5 hours once on YouTube with Bad Mike, of course.
Of course.
Of course.
Bad Mike will do every podcast except ours.
I'm sure he will if I ask nice enough. And trouble with having Bad Mike on the show is that when him and I get together, eventually it's going to devolve into movie talk.
Like it doesn't devolve into movie talk anyway?
Oh, we get it back, though. But this would be like 45 minutes to an hour on, what's out on DVD and what's good and what's this, what's that, that kind of thing. Anyway, now I'm babbling. So, why don't we close this splat book and say good night, Full-On Gamer, or goodbye.
All righty, Gamer Nation. We shall see you on the whenever at the wherever. And if I happen to catch you all at Gen Con, you know where to. You'll see me coming when you see, you'll see me coming.
Yeah,
we're still working on him getting him to North Texas. So yeah. Brian.
And until next time, folks, whenever that might be, hopefully it's soon. And we can also get Corey back into the fold, and we could have a full show between the 4 of us. Just stay tuned. Remember, we have a Facebook page, and their emails and voicemails and stuff. So keep your questions coming, and of course we'll read them on the podcast as soon as we go. So
yes,
catch you guys next
will.
time.
And before I go. I wanted to say that we moved and took all the stuff out of the garage and put it in the new garage. And lo and behold, what did I run across?
What'd you say?
The AD&D Second Edition trivia game.
Oh yeah, we should fire that back up.
It is now in our communal game room in the other room, and
nice.
We will be firing that up pretty soon.
All right, done deal.
Right. And by the way, I'm DM Glenn, and we'll see you next time the hammer comes down on THACO's Hammer. Bye-bye. Yeah, we're out.
Definitely we should redo trivia. We only did like 4 episodes. We need to do that.
Yeah, we need Corey for this.
Yeah, that's always fun. So yeah, we need to do that.
But we need to give Full on a handicap because he's just got too much ADD knowledge.
Speak for yourself. Who won the last 2 sessions? This guy.
Okay.
You know,
I just see full on, walking.
THACO's Hammer theme is provided by the Diablo Swing Orchestra. You'll find them on Jamendo.com. All other additional music for this episode was provided by Kevin MacLeod. You'll find more of his music on Incompetech.com. Be sure to visit our website at thacoshammer.info. If you have any questions or comments, email us at thacoshammer@gmail.com. Remember, that's an O, not a 0. You can also find us on the second edition forums at osrgaming.org and at purpleworm.org. Or give us a call and leave us a voicemail at 405-806-0555. See you next time when the hammer comes down on THACO's Hammer.